Hey, it's the Nerdy Sports Fan, and we're still talking NFL Draft. It's been almost a week since the first round, and we're giving out draft grades. So, we're into the AFC West, and we're talking Chiefs. Now, the grade overall, I'd say about a B. Now, this team traded away a lot of their draft capital in order to pick up Frank Clark. They picked up a new defensive coordinator in the offseason in Steve Spagnuolo, and they really needed to develop that defense to make sure it was a scheme fit personnel-wise. So, Frank Clark was a huge addition to this team. Kudos to them. They also picked up the Honey Badger in Tyrann Mathieu from Houston, which is a big boon as well. Now, in the second round, they tripped all over themselves, and they overshot for Mecole Hardman, wide receiver out of Georgia. Now, they think, pretty obviously, that this is the replacement that they need for Tyreek Hill, who can't stop beating the crap out of his son and girlfriend, wife, whatever it is. Guy's a piece of crap, and he needs to not be in the league. Seems to be a track record there in KC for getting pieces of crap that are really talented on offense, as Kareem Hunt was jettisoned from the team last year. But anyways, Hardman doesn't have the character flaw, red flags that Tyreek Hill did coming out of the draft. That is the best I can say about him. I think that he was a huge reach here. As I've said previously, he was more like a fourth rounder in my mind. But they came right back with Juan Thornhill, who was a fantastic pickup. At 31st in the second round, Juan Thornhill should have been gone by now. And pairing him with Tyrann Mathieu, now you've got a fantastic safety tandem. The defensive secondary was crap in Kansas City last season, and it's developing into a strength here with these two safeties added in. So that's great for them. Third round, pick number 20, they went with Kalen Saunders, who's stout. I mean, he's not obviously one of the better defensive talents at defensive tackle in this draft, but he's going to be a solid player, and putting him next to Chris Long is going to be great for this defensive front. Personally, I really thought they should have addressed the other defensive end. There was ability to do that. I get you're losing Tyreek Hill and you want to replace that guy, but with the quarterback that you have, Sammy Watkins, Travis Kelce, the depth you've been able to show at the wide receiver and running back positions as people get hurt, I didn't necessarily think that they needed to address that as much as they needed to address edge rusher. I understand you got Frank Clark, but who's on the other side of him? You got rid of Dee Ford, and you lost Justin Houston in the offseason. So, there's a gap there. And Kalen Saunders in the middle is more of a luxury pick. They could have easily picked up somebody like a Zach Allen or, there's a number of names that they could have addressed at defensive end at various points in the draft and still gotten the value that they did with Juan Thornhill. So, it seems like a wasted opportunity in this defensive-rich draft. That being said, I like Juan Thornhill a lot. Kalen Saunders I don't think is a bad pick. And after that, they picked up late Devin Thompson, running back out of Utah State, which I think is actually going to be an immediate impact. I think he's going to be a rotational player in a backfield by committee now that Hunt's out of town and Ware's out of town as well. But I think he's going to be a contributor this season, and to get him in the 6th round is big. So, not a terrible draft, not a great draft. The biggest thing that they did with their draft capital was pick up Frank Clark, which was huge. So, overall, again, a B. And I think the Chiefs are still a contender, but I do think the Chargers passed them this offseason.